Happy New Year. I know it's January 2nd. You might be thinking I'm a little late to the party by saying Happy New Year. But anyways, happy 2018. I am Sherry Trentini, and this is the Life Reclamation Society Podcast. And I'm so happy that you're here today. One of the things that I do consistently and have for years is I sit down and I figure out what it is that I intend for myself and for my life in the coming year. I actually do that a couple times to do a bit of a check-in and review partway through the year as well as at the end. And I always like to do that on my birthday. But since my birthday is really close to the year end, that's why I've sort of taken on the opportunity to, pause midway, third way through, and just sort of do a check-in. But I know, like I said, I might be a little bit late to the party. You've probably already done your resolutions or you've created your intentions and done all that good stuff. But there is a couple of things that I wanted to share with you that might have you double back, just do a quick review of what you've already decided and set into motion for your life in 2018. And that number one thing that I'd like to share with you is, how do the goals that you've set for yourself for this year, how are they reflected in what you value in your life? Now, I actually haven't seen a lot of people asking that question about your personal values. And in the last few months, I've had the experience both for myself and with clients that I've worked with, that when we took a look at what makes us up when it comes to what do we value in our life, that sometimes we can find where there's a bit of a disconnect with maybe some of the goals that we've set out for ourselves that may have proved to be challenging or, lots of hard work. And goals should be hard. Don't get me wrong, because you certainly want to challenge yourself. However, when there's a misalignment between what it is that you want to feel, be, do, and have in your life, we want to make sure that those things are aligned. We want the value to be the juice for your goals, and we want it to be easy for us to experience our values and see their presence and their value in our lives by, all of our actions and intentions and goals and all the things that we're letting go of and moving beyond and moving towards. So I wanted to chat with you a little bit today about core values. Now, there are tons and tons of resources on Google, on the internet, with people having different exercises, different approaches, and so on and so forth as to how to best nail down what you value and how to identify what your values are. I learned a very easy but incredibly succinct way to do so. And I'm a big fan of going with your intuition. What are the first things that pop into your head? Because when we start thinking a little too much about what it is that we value in our lives, then we might start imposing some of those disconnected ideas or values that aren't necessarily aligned with who we are in this moment and who we wish to become. So, super simple exercise. Just grab a little piece of paper, a big piece of paper, whatever you've got handy, and draw a big circle in the center and put your name. And then I want you to just sit down, take 2 or 3 big breaths in, and just sort of clear your mind and get present with yourself and ask yourself the question, what do I value in my life? Now, on those different Google searches that you can do and find different core value exercises, there is volumes of lists when it comes to giving you ideas. And often they're provided so that you can read through that list and circle or highlight or tag the ones that really resonate with you. And that's a great activity as well. So, for instance, some of the things that might come to your mind or what you might come across on the internet are things like happiness, friendship, love, wealth, achievement, success, personal growth, abundance, philanthropy, security, fun, health, adventure, wellness, peace, joy, connection, community, and so on. There's a great number of opportunities for us to be triggered. But, ooh, I really like that. Ooh, that really, chimes. I can really feel that in my belly when I see that word or feel what that word feels like to me. And in that piece of paper, where you've got your name in the center, I want you to draw 10 circles all the way around and fill those circles with the top 10 values that come to your mind. And be careful when you start second guessing, be careful when you start thinking that, ooh, no, I should add money, or I should add, weight loss or fitness, if those aren't truly important to you. Because I feel that there's a bit of a twist when it comes to adding things to your values list that aren't necessarily aligned with who you are. Case in point, recently I was working with somebody who has had weight loss or fitness on their list of, they value being fit and being at an ideal weight for them. But yet each year after year after year, it was a challenge. It always got sloughed to the bottom of her priority list. And not because she was not taking care of herself or not being mindful of her overall wellness. That wasn't the case, but there were other things that were more important. And the side effect of making sure that you are dialed into the values that feel good for you, that some of those other things, those other goals, can come into our lives without as much effort. So when we are really making sure that we are experiencing and living a valued life, and adding energy to the values that are important to us, sometimes those other things can happen without the effort, without the efforting, without it being hard work. I said before that I want your values to be easy to achieve, easy to recognize, easy to experience, and easy to feel. Because there can be, there's the textbook or the dictionary definitions of what happiness feels like and looks like in your life, but yet there's so many other moving parts that you can add to that. Happiness at work might look and feel different than happiness at home, or achievement, that could be, reaching a career goal, or that could be achieving, taking a class and learning how to knit or play the guitar or things like that. We all have our own definitions, our own visualization as to what achievement or happiness or abundance or philanthropy, any number of things, how they would show up and be that in our own lives. My interpretation might be different than yours, and that's cool too. So I want you to really take, you don't have to take a lot of time, because again, I want this to be a deep dive, but I want this to be a dive into a clear, calm pool, hence the breathing exercise of taking 2 to 3 deep breaths before you start the process, and just clearing your mind, becoming present, letting go of, the last text message you just received or the Facebook notification that just popped up, and just allow yourself to be present by asking yourself the question, what do I value? Now, when you've got those 10 things that surround your name, the great thing to do is to ask a next question. Why? Why is it important? Right? You don't have to justify it to me or to any other person, but when you can look at why those 10 things or 8 things, round it off, whatever, that popped into your mind when you asked yourself the question, what do I value? What do I value in my life? What do I value feeling in my life? And when you can answer why, then that helps to, again, bring that into our presence, bring that into our present, and for us to be more mindful, easier to recognize, easier to see when it shows up, easier to appreciate and be grateful for those things, and easier to use that as fuel to work towards and move towards whatever goals, intentions, or resolutions that you have created for yourself. So I'm going to ask you that, if you're attracted to doing this activity, that this can be a great way to really juice up that energy depending on for the goals that you've set out for yourself. Now, another question I could ask you too is, how many goals have you set for yourself? I attended something last September in 2017 where one of the speakers had shared that he had set out for himself 167 or some amazing number of goals for himself for the year. So that stopped and gave me pause a little bit, because that seems a little bit daunting, don't you think? To have a list of 167, I'm using that number, I'm not sure if that was the actual one, to achieve during the year. However, the more he talked and the more he shared about his process and what it is that he was working towards in sort of groups or batches of main goals, it started to make a little bit more sense. It felt a little less arduous, or a little less laborious rather, to have to achieve or have the fuel to keep moving towards 167 different things that you wanted to achieve. However, as I said, when we can sort of bulk and make, sort of batch them or make categories of things in our lives that we want to bring in, what we want to be, do, and have, and how that looks and feels to us, yeah, okay, I can see 167 manageable or, stepping stones towards a larger and the bigger picture. So what I would also say to that is, I'm not encouraging everybody to, wallpaper your bedroom with your 167 or 187 or 2,000 different goals that you want to set out for yourself for the year. But what I am suggesting is that whatever goal that you set, I want you to take a look and see how that fits in with those 10 values, your top 10, your top 5, your top 7, whatever it is. But really get clear as to what you value in your life. And again, just to recap, that the values are the emotional states that we believe are most important to us. And that is for us to experience. And we have we are not hardwired because they are malleable, but when we have that really good connection, that hardwiring connection to what that feels like, then when it shows up, again, we have that juice. It helps to fill that tank, our values tank, so that that it's easy to recognize, easy to see, feel, be, do, and have the things that will help continue to bring that flow of energy to us. So as a recap for 2018, or for 2017, we've learned a great deal. We are different people than we were in January 2nd, 2017 versus where we are now. And as we step towards this time, 2019, when we are, fueled with the essence of what we value in our life, gosh, we can have such an amazing experience when we are focused on making sure our values tanks are full, and that juices up our energy to achieve whatever resolution, intention, goal, you name it. So all the best to you and whatever you want to bring into your life, and also whatever you choose to let go of in 2018 so that you can have an exceptional experience. My name, again, is Sherry Trentini, and this is the Life Reclamation Society Podcast, and I'm so grateful that you are here today. And if you want to reach out and let me know what your goals are, I'd love to hear what they are, because I'm always curious as to what people are doing for themselves and what they're working towards. You can shoot me an email, pop over to my website at www.sherrytrentini.com. That's SHERRYTRENTINI.com. As well, don't forget, if you do want a couple resources, I've got a couple favorites when it comes to core values that gives you a 3 or 4 pages of different words that might help to trigger or stir up or help you get aligned to what it is that you value in your life. I'd be happy to send those to you. So pop over to my website and shoot me an email, and I'll get that sent to you. Again, looking forward to hanging out with you and sharing more of this fantastic year. And I hope, again, that you have a fabulous day and a happy, happy, happy new year. Until next time.